Yeah, what's up guys? Back on the Save for Scout account, and we made some great upgrades on pulling units. And on this account, certain units, like I pulled a whole bunch of units that's like, oh, never gonna use that, insta storage. But also a few pulls, like this one, for example, Bloodsha, crazy good one right there. I'll showcase you which ones I have first, and then where I will be using them, and then also what kind of units am I missing. And one pull that I like a lot is the Legolas on Wind. Also a crazy strong unit, and I sacked on the things over there, which is really nice. But why is this unit that good? Well, I would say if we are looking at tiers of best nukers in game, I would say that he has probably one of the highest damage outputs right there. I would still classify Zyros as better, but he is slightly different for the fact where he just deals an ungodly amount of damage, where he provides his own attack buff and speed buff, which allows a lot of teams. I do already have Tiana, so the combination of them two is definitely very potential. And, well, I still don't really have like a good thing for Daniel. That's the only thing that's missing. Another great pull that I made is Aya. I already do have a Leo. I kind of just want a second Aya and an Angela because that team would just instantly bring me into G3. Plus, I can actually do the combination of them two for an arena defense as well. So all really good pulls. For arena offense, I will be able to do two different teams. So I've been using this team a lot, which is very strong. But there are certain moments where there's just too many wind units on the enemy team and there's not really a water unit, where a Bloodsha would simply do better. So I will definitely be using that. Some people might also say, it's like, why not use them both at the same time? Well, that would be too many debuffs and you can only stack 10 debuffs per unit. So in that case, I would still rather have the Seth and the Amber next to it. And that will do more than enough damage. So will definitely be used over there. Also some siege offense, which we'll see later in the video, I can also use that. Then what I can also do with the Legolas is a team like this, but I need something different in here. And why would I do a double strip team? Because you might be like, say, you already have Tiana, why do you need a Gemini? Well, Gemini is a really horrible strip plus defense breaker. But if Gemini only has to defense break, he is as good as a defense break as any other unit. So the combination of Gemini plus Tiana is actually really good. The only thing is you need a fast attack bar gain kind of unit over here, which is a little bit of an issue. And that small issue is visible here on the screen. I have about every unit. I don't have an Asher and I don't have a Kabila. Would I really do that with an Asher? Not really. Kabila is a lot better for that because higher base and also 30 boost, whereas I would remove the speed buff with the Tiana. I would have other ideas and options if I were to not use the Tiana, but Tiana is just simply a lot better. But yeah, I don't have neither of these two units just yet. I have about like every 3-star. Also, funny enough, the other 3-star that also could be interesting is this one over here. For Siege, this one over there, if we need a Dark Tank. So I'm missing the interesting 3-stars on this account, which does kind of suck. I will also showcase where I will be using those kind of units in Siege later. But let's actually look at what kind of pulls could I make on this account to instantly boost it to like way higher siege rank, way higher RTA rank, or way higher in arena ranks. For the element of fire, I was checking around a little bit back and forth. There are a few decent pulls, but nothing really catches my eyes like, oh, that would like instantly boost my account by a lot. Like a Vanessa pull is nice, but I'm really using a Leo kind of defense anyway, so it's not that interesting. Same for Nora, I do already kind of have my dot unit. So on fire, actually nothing really. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of units that could help, but it's nothing in particular as like, oh, that would be crazy. Water actually has a few. Ariel will be really nice for defense. Camilla will be very nice for defense. Sameth will probably enable some kind of speed offense team. I would not be against that. Heigang would be crazy good for RTA because then I can play the dot team in RTA. And of course in Adriana because I do already have a Sonya. So there's a lot of water units that I would see. Also the ones that I did not mention. There's a lot of water units that will be like, yo, these could be very good. On the side of wind, I would say a buffs Eladriel for defense at the moment is definitely not a bad take. I would also say, well, Feng Yang, yeah, I do have a Leo already, so Feng Yang would definitely not be too bad. Angela would be very nice to pair with the Aya and the Leo. I think an Irration for arena offense is still definitely not bad. A Layla will be crazy good for me for RTA. And I think those are the main picks, which would be kind of crazy. One that I did not mention for fire is maybe a Zyros, but since I got the Legolas, Zyros is not as interesting anymore. But those would be some of the best units I can pull on this account right now. And that is mainly because of other pairs that I already have. However, there's one thing that I would really like to use my Daniel a lot more. And for my Daniel, I actually need two particular units, which would be very good. That would be a combination of a Jamayer plus a Changpong. Or a Red would kind of do the same thing, but definitely a Jamayer would help a lot with that. and then adding in a full pushback unit such as a Changpong or for Rat or, well, I think Changpong is by far best because it's 75 pushback and it is that 3 times. So technically you could push back like 200% attack bar, which is a little bit more of a chance than with a red where you can get 15% and that kind of stuff. So getting the combination of these two would definitely be very cool as well. But for this video, I'm gonna be using some of those new units in Siege, and let's see how well that does. I'll showcase all of the runes on these teams, but of course, I forget that most of the time, so I'm going to be showcasing all of the runes at the end of the video, so stick to the end of the video if you want to see the runes on all of those offenses. I definitely have to redo my defenses. Also, the ones that you can use for the support right now aren't as strong as last time, because last time we had in a Camilla, we had a Feng Yang, we had a Velajul in there, like really good units that you could pair the whole thing. And now with the collab units, are not as strong. This one is definitely decent-ish, but it's a little bit on the slow side once again. Plus, I do already have that unit myself, but now I don't have a second nuker because this series out there is really not that great, because you would have to get speed buff and what's it called, crit on it, and then also attack, which is just like a hard thing to do in the first place. This thing is also a bit too much on the slow side, so I would have to find a new fitting unit for that. But teams that I have been improving and changed is this one over here. I don't have an Adriana just yet, but this is kind of a option if you don't have an Adriana to still go for a Sonya kind of comp with this out there. It's definitely not as fast, but it's still decent. I have to put a bunch of relics to a lot of things. I did manage to pull this unit, which is crazy good. The only thing is I don't really have a proper outspeed with a defense break, but this does kind of work itself as well. With then, of course, a Tiana in the middle, which is a really strong team. That team have showcased before, have showcased before, have showcased before, have showcased before, have showcased before. This is a full new team on this account. I did pull a Stark, and this is kind of like a bruiser-ish style of just getting some extra lives and then fighting it out that way. Not particularly the best of teams, but I think it's kind of fine. I did manage to pull a Bludge up, so now I can use a double strip with a strip backup that can also deal damage with the Lamilia comp. I haven't really used too much Lamilia on this account. I managed to pull a Leo earlier, but I also got a Aya, which now I have Leo. And I couldn't really find, like, the best thing I could place over here is an Angela, but I don't have an Angela just yet, so that's kind of an option. And I did make this team, which I definitely should have been doing way earlier. And as you can see, I have not been placing relics on a lot of things. So every time I go in, I have to check the relics. But let's see how well we can do on this siege right now. So this is a 4-star tower, this seems, right? Yep. Okay, this seems to be food for this team over here. Let's see, you don't have a relic, you don't have a relic, you don't have a relic, no one has a relic. Best way to equip relics most of the time is just going through this screen. Like, I don't have good relics on this account yet by all means, except for that one. That one's pretty decent, I would say. But the main thing is I only get the free-to-play relics on this account because I haven't been using any resources towards the dupes to get the relics in, which I think on a free-to-play account is maybe not that interesting because it's better to get like a blessing or just Devilmons. I recently have been pulling a fair bit of net 5, so then Devilmons definitely become a lot more interesting. In this case, with this team, what we're doing is we're boosting, and then we're boosting again, and then we're just trying to kill this thing in one clean hit. That is... thank you for not going for any of your skills. Appreciate that. This could hurt. Okay, did not hurt that much just yet. If we can def break this, good def break, that will take a slicing wind for nearly a 70k out there. Yep, and from there we should be looking at easy cleanups. Strongest of teams out there against what we just fought? Maybe not, but it is a team that's very versatile and working against a lot of teams. Like, this team definitely does have a lot of strength to it. And that is our first hit of the day. This is the kind of hit I want to try this against. I do have the wrong element on you, but I think we should be doing good enough damage where this kind of can work. Plus, I kind of have to use this against a team that's not super fast. So in this case, oh, I also forgot to place the relics, of course. Gotta place them relics, gotta place them relics. Maybe I should just go out of my way and then place the relics on everything beforehand, and then we go in all of our hits. I think I'll be doing that after this hit, because I'm 100% otherwise gonna forget to put all of those relics. But yeah, I only need like one pushback right there. And you have the guaranteed lands on your pushback and your stun, which is really nice because of the Tanjiro on Dark. But let me place all of those relics. Did fix this team up, except for you on the relics. That's the only one I did not do just yet. But just giving you that final relic over there. And then we have everything set. It's not fully in tune, but I think in most cases I don't have to crazy outspeed things anyways with this team. Let's actually try to use that team right away, because I'm very curious about their damage. So in this case, where it at here. We're gonna kill, of course, right side first, then we're gonna kill, I think, Feng Yang second, because otherwise Feng Yang is gonna slap this Friedman thing, and then should be good to go from there. So how much damage are we dealing with this kind of hit? 72. That's not bad at all. How much are we hitting on this? Is a little bit lower on the speed. 19Ks per hit, right? Okay, a little bit less. But, yep, still good enough. That's solid team, solid team. Definitely going to be liking this one. And then skill 1 death break. And then skill 2 for revolver kick. Lots of damage coming in. Yep. That's a nice team. That is definitely a nice team right there. Maybe a little bit overdone for the damage, but good enough. I could even up the speed, but more on the free run than the other one. The Nina kind of does need... Well, Nina's not a 5-star, and I think she's not max skilled at the moment even. Yeah, she's missing the skill up of 15% damage, which is going to add a lot of damage as well. I think this is a team we can do with this. We're going to kill you first, and then you as 2 on that. And I guess I should be able to outspeed this because of the lead. Not 100% sure about that, but I think it should be fine. This is pretty much the fastest team I do have. I do fully outspeed, so we have a little bit of chip damage coming in from you, of course, and Adrian is a lot stronger. We're gonna do this hit over here on the left. That is some proper damage right there. This hit did not fully kill for what I would have liked to kill, but as long as you don't proc right now, I'm good to go. I should win this 1v1, right? Well, you have a guaranteed crit on your S2, which I'm not going to be happy about. Slow would have been nice. Do we fully outspeed this? That's... Yikes. Okay, because of that, he doesn't have as much damage. Don't kill, please. He critted that. Man, I always lose on this account through like a super random thing. Why did that thing have like 60k HP? That's some weird shit right there. But it's definitely a bit on the slower side, huh? Well, since it is a little bit on the slower side, I can also hit that. But that thing was like a triple HP thing, and he critted on that final hit. So, yeah, then we have to do an S2, I guess. That does suck as well. Will we start lapping after this? We would. Attack break on you is definitely the best thing I can do. And then also the proc from the Theomars did not help at all. Okay, we have that going on. Is still fine, is still fine. I would have rather had some dots on you already by now, but yeah, can't have everything in life, it seems. I think I'll just send the S2 because it might be the last turn you will ever take, because kind of depends where you start your hits on. Okay, this is fine. We should be winning this. That's some... Okay, okay, Zomtuus, calm the fuck down. Double sleep as one, Calm down, sir. I think the other team should have won as well. But yeah, that's the thing with this account. You don't have the crazy of rune quality where you can get away with everything. And on a main account, you have a little bit more of that. What can we do against this? Ooh, are we gonna try this? This is dangerous, though. No, this is dangerous because of the Nana. Because of the Nana, I don't like it as much. I think this one we can actually do with this. Let's just see if it works. I'm not too fond of a... what's it called in there? This one, Harmonia. Is that Harmonia? I think it's Harmonia, right? Yeah, that one I'm not too big a fan of, but it is a something. It is a something. Mainly because of your healing is also an immunity and a cleanse. And you don't always want to cleanse with this kind of unit. Okay, good. Sure, hit all of those. Too bad not on the right side. Uh-oh, too bad not on the right side. Let's just try to chip you in a little bit more. Just to make sure that you die from... And don't go for any healings. Leo proccing like crazy. I guess that definitely does help out. Let's go for that hit over there. Yeah, Leo's taking all the hits, but hey, that works. That works. I still have you on destroy in case that the Aya randomly dies, and for some reason this thing really does like to go 16,000 turns every turn, but Yeah, this is, I guess, the best option I can do. Maybe there's another unit that I could place over there, but I don't really want to go for Raccoony or something that cleanses at moments. I do not want it myself. I think that this one should work over here. It pretty much still my best team out there that I have for anything. Well, yeah, no, this is still my best team I have. So we spread, I think, on the left. In that case, I think I'd rather go for this. I was hoping for a different kind of hit, but sure. We did not get... this might be bad, actually. This might be really, really bad because... Yikes, I don't like that hit. Okay, can we remove that or stun that? I'm definitely content with the stun as well. I was hoping for, of course, the Oblivion, but we did not get the Oblivion. I do really like that proc, though. Otherwise, we would have probably said goodbye to Miss Amber on the right. Especially if that thing went for an S2. Can we get it this time around? Oblivion, that's the one we were looking for. But, oh, well, you will hit that, so that's fine. And yep, well, this team is also like, it has so much room for error. That's just why this team is so strong. It has so much room for error. Things can go wrong, and you can still do an insane amount of damage, and it's totally fine. Let's see if we can solo this tower. This hit would be more difficult because we have 2 lives in there. I would mostly say some kind of Veromos team would be best that I could throw at this. I don't really want to throw this because my dots will also do more damage to me, which is maybe not the best. I could go for a team like this, kill Zeratul twice, and then just bruiser it out, but these units could be squishy enough where it could be bad. I don't like that second life, though. Like, same with a team like this. At the moment that you start... No, I think that this might actually do. I just have to make sure that the Zeratul never takes a turn, because if the Zeratul takes 1 turn, I'm probably insta-dead. And I hope that you don't go for your shit, so... wait, we didn't push back at all. Okay, I'm super dead. This thing was a lot faster than I expected. If we do this, you die to dots, you don't die at all. Wow, this team is relatively tanky, kind sir. I expected to do more damage, and more pushbacks, and more everything. That did not work out as planned. Okay, I have to go for a skip on this team. I think like a Veromos team would do good against that, but I don't really have a Veromos team ruined up at the moment. Let's see what we have here on the other side. Bit more cleavy-ish teams. Can we beat this full LD team with a full free-to-play team? Yes, we can. I believe we can. It's gonna be a little bit annoying, maybe, but I definitely do expect that we can do this, unless he procs like a crazy amount, but I think that this should be kind of fine. I just kind of had to get my opener in where I can start hitting that at a right moment, because, of course, well, you're working with the invis, which is kind of annoying, which will make it take some times where you cannot always hit everything that you would like to hit, but... We're just chipping away the HP, they don't have any healing, and that's also kind of the showcase where just adding a bunch of LDs to a team doesn't necessarily make it a good team. That's definitely one of the things that we can see over here. And we just simply whittle it down, chip it down. Let's give some that over you because you would go for the skill 3. And none of these units are really bound to dying at any given moment, I would say. That's just the main thing about it. The invis is a little bit annoying, but she will get rid of her invis anyways. Plus, I think that she's not max skill, because I think she should be rotating her invis faster than what she was doing. Okay, we have that. That could be bad. How much damage do we have? That's actually a little bit more damage than I was hoping for. Please do not kill. It did, of course, kill. Okay, then that means you are my only damage dealer. And with you as my only damage dealer, it's gonna take a little bit longer. So for the guys on the stream, I'm gonna fast forward that a little bit. Yeah, that's the first one down, and from this point on, it's a lot easier because we can actually deal some damage to these units right now. And they have absolutely no damage against me, which definitely does help out. Free-to-play team, flawless victory. Well, not that flawless, we lost 1 unit due to a random death break. And then a rotation where I couldn't get anything in for healing myself, but hey, in the end, if it works, it works. So full LD team doesn't mean that something is stronger. And that same thing goes for RTA. Because these units, well, they're not really siege units in the first place. They're definitely more RTA units than siege units. But they were definitely not as strong as you might have think at some places. Because you just lose to a fucking Lulu and Tractor. Good old Lulu Attractor, man. They never get old. They never get old. I do actually want to test out the Stark Bruiser team. It's definitely not the best of things to Bruiser, but I just kind of want to give it a try to see how well this team does. Because I have absolutely no clue if this team should be good, bad, or somewhere in the middle. Okay, we got an instant death break, which I did not expect to get a death break from a revenge. Oh. Yeah, that's a first life on you. That's not great. That is actually not great. And that might be a second life on you right away as well because of the justice. You are on Vampire, however, but... Yeah. Yeah, that's... How do you revenge without having revenge buff? Okay. Maybe it's not the strongest of Bruiser teams out there. There's so many things that could have actually won against this, but... Damn, that revenge really did mess me up. I did not expect to get a revenge right away on that hit. I have to rewatch that again. Like, what the fuck did actually happen over there? Because the team idea is actually not that bad. You have an AoE strip into an AoE hit. Oh, yeah, because of the taunt, of course. I thought he revenged, actually, but that was because of the taunt. That was some proper damage. That is true. That was not a revenge. It was just a taunt. I was like, don't I have immunity? I do not have immunity. I just got taunted over there. That's kind of bad. Yep. Okay. So maybe this team does need a little bit more protection instead of a Nana. That's maybe the real deal. Kind of need some immunity unit instead of the Nana. So like a Fran or something would work. Or a Lulu. But I already used those in other teams. Would have to think of another unit rather than a Nana. I kind of just wanted to use my net 5s. But then again, it is noticeable some of these net 5s, they're not fully skilled. And it is noticeable though. This thing is half skilled, but it's going to be skilled by 4-star. So I'm just going to do it that way. This thing is skilled, however, but really needs to stack. This thing is not skilled just yet. So that is one of those things definitely have to work on. Are you actually skilled up? I did skill you up. Yep. Yep, there's a few of them that I did skill up. A few of them I did not skill up. Like this one also is fully skilled. Yep. So yep, that's the siege for now. I expected a little bit more than 7 out of 10, but let's try in the next round if it goes a little bit better than this one. For this team, it's just being the tick of the 286, a little bit more like that, because the main thing is if you expect the enemy also to be at 286, then it's better if you're slightly bit faster, so everything that is ruined at the 286 specific, you will outspeed, and that's the main thing about this team being a slightly bit faster than the 286. This team over here is also kind of going by that same method. Tractor's a little bit slower, but it's just like a full-on bruiser unit right there. This one, as mentioned, this is my fastest set. Then this one is just in tune right after that. It's not super crazy on the speed, but it has decent attack and it has decent crit damage. Therefore, it will do good damage regardless. And this one, of course, is more focused on speed. Then we have over here, this one over here, once again, fastest set pretty much. Then this one is the best set that I can make in pair of that with some attack increasing effects. Maybe I should go a little bit more speed increasing effect on this one, but it has a good bit of crit damage over there. And then this one does also fix 21% crit rate and is on triple fight. This is the fastest triple fight I can make you on the account. It was just fast enough to outspeed this thing, which is really nice. But the main thing that's nice about this one is you got the irresistible plus defense break. And because of the irresistible, I also have guaranteed land of those double pushbacks plus a stun. Which also means that if I hit wrong element, one of the two will most likely hit and then also guarantee hit right away. So that's really nice. This team I use a lot. Hua is crit rate, not crit damage. And this already does way too much damage. So just go for crit rate, high speed, and then it's totally fine. And this thing always misses her as 2. Typical unit right there. Team over here, you don't need super fast on your Orochi because of the Bernard boost being that good and the speed lead being that good. That is just good enough already. You prefer to have a shield set on the Mark just to have a little bit more of protection because you mostly killed one unit and then you bruiser against the other two. This one over here, did not use it this time, but just to showcase it, we have a Robo moving first, then you go for the trade, and then you go for the Kaki for cleanup, which is a Vaio set, pretty fast one right there. This team over here is still the same team with all of those 3 units on a full-on speedy comps. You can also go for them on just will and shields and those kind of things, but I don't really use that. This team is not as commonly used anymore because of the Shumar nerf, but I still use it in World Guild Battle, and it's still kind of decent in there. This team, as mentioned, I think I have to find a different healer than the Nana over there. I don't really have a different healer just yet. I did not pull that many supports on this account, so we'll have to see if I can find maybe a better support for this with some immunity kind of shenanigans going in. Like even a Valajul or something would do great, but don't have that one neither. This team over here, this is the fastest set, or pretty much fastest set, but these two are not really bound to it right now. I might actually change you to a fastest swift fight. I think I will do that later on, because I'm not fully in tune anyways. This is a team that's pretty nice, because as you have seen in the last one, I missed full strips on this one because it's not a super high activation on the strip. I missed all of it. But then you have the backup strip for this, which can actually go for the Lamelia skill 3 and then skill 2 and blah, blah, blah. And if you do actually land, you just go straight for the skill 3, which is really nice, good combination right there. This team did not really use this time around. Then we also have this team, which is just a full tank. We still have the destroy on you in case something randomly dies. It's not the highest of damage output out there, but it's just like try to be tanky and that kind of stuff. A very typical team right there. And this team also did not use, but it's also a more typical team. You've probably seen it before, where I just go for a nuke of the Isabel. So those are all of the runes. Hope you did enjoy this video. If you do want to see more videos on the alt, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and let me know in the comments what you would like to see me do on the alt. And see you as always in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.